Hello and welcome back to another video about Honkai Impact. Today we are going to continue with the main story with the Otto Apocalypse, and we will start with chapter 28, Beyond Will. Last episode Otto started his plan and activated a barrier, the barrier of binding, I think was it. And yeah, now we need to see how we can manage to get through it. To somehow manage to stop him from sending everything back in time. And with that, in this way, killing everyone who is outside of this city, outside of Colliston. But so yeah, let us begin. I'm still going to use Herrscher of Sentinels, Herrscher of Reason and Herrscher of Flamico. And this chips. So nothing changes there. Okay, and the first thing is to meet up one, yeah. But okay. Okay. Got it activated. Some rifts open through Otto's plan, but yeah. Let's talk about you. Kiana, are you alright? I'm okay, but I failed to stop Otto. As we were fighting, this light curtain popped up and cut me off from him. He's on the other side of it now. Lily, are you alright? This is not time to be nodding off. We have to, huh? Why am I also sleepy all of a sudden? What's up, Lily? The closer I get here, the heavier my body feels. It's similar to when my power was taken away by the puppet, but it's not the same. Hello? Are the comms working? Can anybody hear me? Principal, this is Kiana. The comms are working normally, and I just met Ponya and the others in front of the church. Phew, you guys are alright. The comm signal has been unstable since we started some time ago. I was worried that you became unreachable like Mr. Young. In the Hyperion, the doctors and I saw a huge light curtain appear in the direction of the church. Its energy matters were very abnormal. Did you find anything at the scene? The light curtain could be some kind of measure Otto adopted to keep us out. He entered the church alone after it went up. So you met Otto? Yes. When the light curtain appeared, he said something about the gift from the imaginary tree and the power of God. By the way, when I arrived, he was holding the abyss flower in his hand and said that it was left by the first guest. Abyss flower? The first guest? Did he mean Donda? Isn't she Otto's subordinate? Are they fighting? I don't know. Anyway, everyone is isolated by the light curtain outside the church, and the abyss flower is right in front of us. Also, the strange thing is, this light curtain seems to be consuming and restricting Herrscher's ability. Madam Teresa, what do you think? There is no doubt. All the evidence suggests the light curtain is very likely the manifestation of the power of the Herrscher of Binding, just like the Grace Field. What? Herrscher of Binding? What are you saying, that Herrscher of Binding is in this small town? Calm down, everyone. We are talking about the Herrscher of Binding's power. At least we have to not detected any signs of a new Herrscher core. Even the simulated Orb of Judah is unable to generate such a massive field. Combined with what Otto said, it's more like some kind of power from the imaginary tree. In any case, the situation is dire. We have to find a way to deal with the light curtain as soon as possible. We need to go in there and teach that Otto a lesson. Kiana, Ponja, take everyone back to the safe zone first. I will discuss the light curtain with the doctors. Remember, never get close to the light curtain. If it really is the power of binding, it could have irreversible effects on your body. Yeah, good idea. Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh, it's really the power of binding. Oh, thank you. Not what I expected right now. But also not bad. Just need to defeat them. Quick. Not like if they are much of a problem. And this one is best defeated by Yana. As they have got and pretty made. Looks nice with the curtain, the background. First power come down. And now on the Herrscher. Oh, now I would need to use the Herrscher. Immense. I use Kiana again since the feeling Kiana is somehow stronger now. Perfect. Tweet and reopen. Meanwhile in the Hyperion Command Center. That's really sets me off, that shark. Why can't he play fair? What he's doing hiding in a church, huh? Calm down, Dr. Tesla. Complaining won't solve anything. Besides, we still have some tricks up our sleeve. Huh? You have an idea, Moped? Tell me, now. Maybe we can try to break that light curtain with Selene. Selene? But isn't that the weapon we used against Herrscher? Selene's effective because it can convert the Honkai energy in a Herrscher's body into a regular energy. Its attack isn't part of Honkai. As long as we supply it with additional Honkai energy, it could be used as a laser with amazing power. Using Herrscher power or even regular Honkai energy against the power of binding is likely bringing a knife to a gunfight. But if you're using conventional energy weaponry, we don't have to worry about that. We can push full steam ahead with an attack. Shoot, I knew I should have brought along all the silver bullets. Then you have to take the innocent bystanders into account. One thing is certain, no matter how the light curtain acquired the power of binding, it must have some kind of operating mechanism to dissipate the energy. Every operating mechanism functions within a threshold. The power of binding naturally can dissolve regular energy as well, but that is not its primary target. So our output will more likely exceed that threshold. Like a battering ram against a stone, it's a matter of brute force. Indeed. But what if Selene's power can't reach the threshold of the light curtain? Then we have to find another way. That is to say, to be on the safe side, we should use all the stored energy on the Hyperion and hope for the best. But on the other hand, if Selene outputs a maximum power, once we fail, we'll lose all the Hyperion's combat power. Indeed, Otto doesn't seem too bothered. He might have a backup. Either way, the plan is good enough. I will inform Kiana and the others first. We leave the power setting of Selene and any other preparations to you, doctors. No problem. Let's play rock, paper, scissors for it. A few minutes later. Kiana, Vanya, can you hear me? Loud and clear, Principal. What are the instructions? The doctors and I will try to use Selene to deal with the light curtain in front of the church. You lead everyone away, somewhere out of reach, as soon as possible. At that time, if our plan is successful, you'll be able to enter the light curtain once it's safe. Then find Otto. I will catch up with you shortly after. Selene? Kiana, the doctors will explain later. For now, let's follow the principal's plan. Yeah, you're right. We need to hurry things up. The front line is in position, Dr. Tesla. How are things on your side? Testing firepower at 20%. According to Einstein's plan, Selene is ready to be activated. Okay, Kiana, have you retreated into position? We've gotten to a safe location. Copy. Dr. Tesla, we're good to go. Roger. Hyperion, shipborne anti-Herrscher arm, main gun, Selene, activate. As Selene unfolded, the Hyperion began to make the sound of focusing energy, like thousands of turbines turning at the same time. System control, ready. Output control, ready. Orbit control, ready. Target locked. Motion range connection. Direction complete. Oh, we can fire ourselves. Then fire. A beam of white light struck the light curtain. With a loud bang, a clear hole appeared. Great, we did it. Kiana, how are things on your side? No problems here. We can see clearly the hole in the light curtain. Great, then we prepare a more powerful... Wait, Dr. Tesla, something is wrong. What's wrong? The light curtain, it just instantly repaired itself. What? Repaired? Oh, I knew it wouldn't be that easy. So that jerk not only put up this annoying barrier, but even found a way to make sure it stayed repaired. Or is this also part of his power? Moped, and you, Nagamitsu, were you able to calculate the light curtain's threshold based on the texture? Of course, Dr. Tesla. We have good news and bad news. What? Quit beating around the bush and just tell us. The good news is that Selene's attack worked and we were able to get an exact energy threshold reading. The bad news is that the threshold is so high that even with all the Hyperion's remaining energy, we still wouldn't be able to completely destroy the light curtain. And if the light curtain is not completely destroyed, it will regenerate itself, just as Kiana saw it. What? I thought we were able to breach it with just 20% of the energy. But even with 4 times as much energy, we only make a bigger hole. It isn't enough to keep up with itself fixing, let alone destroy it completely. To completely destroy the light curtain, we need to use at least 5 times the amount of the entire Honkai energy stored in the Hyperion, all at the same time. Which is to say nothing about how we're going to concentrate much energy into the Hyperion at once. The power required by that theoretic value exceeds the maximum power that Selene can fire. In other words, the plan to use Selene isn't really feasible. I'm sorry, I have to admit. Wait, Dr. Einstein. Perhaps everything you said was just good news. What? What are you talking about? You expect us to just conjure up a few more Zelens? Yes, exactly. What? Are you serious? Wait a minute. Are you saying... You got it. I say we use the power of Herrscher of Reason to construct an area of Zillions with sufficient power. Huh? What? Is that even possible? Of course, it will be difficult. After all, this is something that even Mr. Young has never done. But it's worth trying. Vanya, have faith in yourself. A few months ago. He is the survivor of the first eruption. At that time, Berlin was in shambles. Shiksa found him at the epicenter. That's right, he's the last Welt, the first Herrscher of Reason. When the man beside her shared the story, Ponya noticed he sounded a bit tired. Back then, things like Herrscher of Reason and Welt seemed distant to Ponya. The core wasn't a part of her story yet, nor the figures in her dreams a part of her experience. That was a name that carried a lot of hope, but it was not Ponya's. Ponya, maybe you misunderstood. I have often said that Herrscher of Reason represents more than just a power. This also means the potential that can be unleashed by Herrscher of Reason is far beyond what I am now able to control. Herrscher of Reason represents a sort of conviction. A conviction that humanity can fight against the Honkai, that humanity can rebel against the gods. The reason why the first Herrscher of Reason chose to fight for humanity is because he retained his consciousness as a human, by taking on the thoughts of 300,000 people in the core. The thoughts of 300,000 people, it must have been a huge burden on his mind. Maybe, but that's what the real Herrscher of Reason would do. We have never forgotten that we are human. We have always carried humanity's pain with us and fought against its enemies. It represents the history that human beings have gone through, and its power comes from human civilization. Now it's in your hands, Ponya. It's something so heavy that even I can't use the full power of Herrscher. It's so light, it's sleeping peacefully in your body at this moment, without causing any rejection. Of course, I'm not forcing you to accept anything. I'm just explaining to you the history of Herrscher of Reason, and those figures in your dream. After all, I believe you can do better than me, Ponya. Your Honkai adaptability is stronger than mine, and you have more combat experience and skills than I did when I first became Herrscher of Reason. The only time I successfully merged with the minds of these 300,000 people was when I rebuilt my last body after the second eruption. Rebuild your body? It's the last body. At that time, I thought it wasn't possible either. How can someone fully understand the structure and state of every cell in the human body? But when I faced the 300,000 people in the core and determined to recover my body to continue my fight for humanity, the core's power helped me. 300,000 thoughts poured into me all at once, squeezing and tearing at each other. They almost shattered my very consciousness. But in the end, I succeeded in restoring my human body from nothing. That was the only time I fully unlocked the power of Herrscher of Reason. The burden of this spiritual harmony was so great that when I tried to reshape my body again, the Sea of Quanta, and fought back against Kevin, the core itself stopped me from doing the same thing twice, for I managed to recover at just the right moment by reading the construction's memory. But now this body has adapted to Herrscher's core, as you can see. But I believe your situation is completely different, Bornya. Not only because you have far more talent than me, but also because you have the same light in your eyes, as well choice, one said. You never meet him, but I promise you, we both are very alike. Bornya, maybe you should consider other plans. Don't worry, Principal, I know what I'm doing. Will you really be alright? Don't be silly. Haven't you done something similar? If you've done it, why can't I? Okay, I trust you, Bornya. I understand. Bornya, I will leave it to you. We charge Cylin on the Hyperion for the second and last time. Then we attack on your command. After all, if we have to do this, everyone with anti-entropy must be worthy of believing in, Herrscher of Reason. I see. Kiana, Silly, Rosa, Lily, please cover Bornya's back. There's a lot going on with this construction. Don't interrupt me for any reason. Got it. Leave it to Silly. I believe in you all. Unlike before, whenever we completely activating the Herrscher core or using Cylin, a large amount of Honkai energy is needed. I will give instructions to everyone in turn. I hope you can lend me as much power as possible. Understood. Understood. Lily, what are the others talking about? I don't understand. What is Cylin? And construction? Lily, I'm not sure. In short, we need to protect Bornya. Oh, I get it. Then, off to battle. Don't even think about getting Bornya's way. What am I supposed to do? Can I please get the Herrscher of Flamico? Those with current pages of damage. I don't think I will manage to protect her for all too long. Yeah, it's now. Here you are, Bornya. Let's show that shark we meant business. I will keep Bornya safe. Get out of my way. We do business completely. I used a strong form from the beginning. I don't need normal form. Please. Alright, Bornya. Please, Bornya, I know you will succeed. Don't waste our time. Don't come near Bornya. Lily, give it your all. something I find nice, that they in the end fight together. Oh, yes. Yes, there's one here. Here in the front. Can't be everywhere and anytime. Yeah, one puppet got down, it's one down. This should be the last thing. And is it the second? Oh no. Here. Here's another one. Die. One more left. Leave it to us. I know it's not a lot, but I hope it can help you out. This is Lilia's daughter's thing. Herrscher of Wiesen Core Energy 100%. As the core of Herrscher of Wiesen is gradually filled with external energy, Bonja began to feel her spirit was sinking into the depths of the core. She knew that as long as she stayed in this state, she'd be able to sense that place. Bonja was here again, in this dreamland full of scorched earth, but this time she already knew who the figure was in front of her. He was the first Herrscher of Wiesen, the hero who saved New York, who once made a tyrant above watch the stars crumble. His name was Weltchoice. Their name was Weltchoice. The thoughts of 300,000 people. I now see. Bonja noticed that those who were walking on the scorched earth were both shadows and not shadows, both fragments and not fragments. It was the thoughts of 300,000 people that formed this unique core. It was this unique core that allowed the thoughts of 300,000 people to be passed on to this day. Not one of them was Herrscher of Wiesen. And yet all of them were Herrscher of Wiesen. Involuntarily, Bonja approached the leading man step by step. A kid like us? Another Honkai victim? Ah, we're from the same hometown. Is she the next Herrscher of Wiesen? Is she the one to carry on our name? Countless thoughts whispered in her ear with every step she took. Bonja knew that the core itself was questioning her, checking whether she really was qualified to be the next in line. Finally, she stood in front of him. It was the first time she faced him in the core at such a close distance. That Surinern must have faced him like this before. What was in Weltjang's mind at that time? And before that, when he was here treading the scorched earth, what was in his mind then? The warrior to take on Honkai. At so young an age? Her will is strong. But she's also immature. The thoughts were still whispering. Bonja's attention returned to him. She sensed the tenderness in his eyes and the stubbornness beneath the tenderness. She finally realized something. The legendary hero was just an ordinary boy. She had seen that sort of ordinary many times before in Sealy. And she understood better than anyone else that it was this ordinary that gave Silly her unparalleled tenderness and strength. This time she felt that She finally understood the meaning of his name, Red. I know you're in doubt, and I know why. Yes, Ponya once refused to inherit the name of Red, thinking that she was unable to take on the responsibility of protecting the world. But now I have come to understand. The so-called world is not a cold concept, nor a word that only exists in slogans. Everyone builds their own unique world. These worlds will merge with the worlds of these around them to create an even larger one. And the world represented by Red is the result of repeating this process tens of billions of times. No one has ever been able to take on the responsibility of protecting the world. But everyone can have the desire to protect the world. The desire to protect the people we want to protect. The desire to open up the future we want to go to. The desire to compromise, struggle, let go, or insist. These complex human natures are in everyone's heart, and when they blend together, all of us will get the proof of why we are human. Red is just a name. Ponya is just an ordinary human being. Whenever I inherit that name or not, Ponya will continue on the path that has been opened up by her predecessors. No matter how much strength she has, Ponya will use it to protect the world where everyone lives. Ponya will always choose to become Herrscher of reason as a human, and as a small cornerstone protecting the world. The gentle but determined boy didn't speak, he just quietly watched Ponya and listened to her speak her heart. His eyes were saying, "We know from the beginning that you would get to this point." She has hesitated before, but she has conquered her doubts. She was afraid, but she has conquered her fears. Maybe she really can bring hope to humanity. At the very least, she deserves to be the next Herrscher of Reason. Her will has become resolute and mature. Well then, we must do anything in our power to help her. To neither give into the Honkai nor the note to the gods. This is our animus word. Nothing more be said. She is ready. Yes, Ponya is ready now. The 300,000 thoughts. Ponya is ready to bear them all. Spiritual harmony, begin. In an instant, countless soul fragments poured into Ponya's consciousness. These souls had traveled different paths, hesitated at different points. But they finally made the same decision as Ponya. They decided to protect this world that belongs to human beings. It was this decision that made their fate and Ponya's fate intertwined at this moment. The thoughts of 300,000 people poured into her along with their traits. Some of them were determined, some brave, some cautious, others immature. And Ponya also felt the power that her companions had given her before. Rosa and Lily's power was as lively and mischievous as the waves. It felt immature but reliable. Lily's power was easy to identify. It was as blue and clear as the sky, both gentle and tolerant at the same time. Kiana's strength was as warm as the sun, yet illuminating the way forward like the moon. She had always led everyone like this. There were also thousands of thoughts and thousands of ideas which overwhelmed Ponya's spirit and tore at her soul. Words flashed across her mind. Human, Herrscher, Honkai, civilization. Peace, war, violence, warmth. The spiritual pain didn't last as long as she had expected. She gradually grasped the waves of thoughts, learning to stay afloat as though she was surfing them. She understood that it was the precipitation of these millions of beliefs, that the position of these millions of years, now gathered into a current and pure conviction. Humanity will change the world according to its own will. The power of Herrscherwiesen rapidly spread to the other side of the singularity at a speed that Bronya couldn't fathom. Even if it was a weapon that she had only looked at a few times. Even if it was a device whose principles were not fully understood. The complete power of Herrscher didn't care about these, as long as the target was within the reach of mortals. Any miracle that civilization could achieve, any height civilization could reach, Herrscherwiesen could make it reappear in an instant. One person's strength might not be enough. Even the thoughts of 300,000 might not be enough. But at this moment, Bronya was the real Herrscherwiesen. Representing human civilization, Bronya would challenge Honkai. Celine, 6-time power, constructing. A loud noise shook the earth. Under the combined impact of the two kinds of energy, from Herrscherwiesen and the Hyperion, the light curtain shattered in an instant, with no sign of recovery. We did it! Bronya! Yeah, that was to be expected that Bronya will faint after using that much power. Bronya! Bronya lost consciousness. She created Celine out of thin air after doing that what no other Herrscherwiesen had done. She was completely exhausted. Celine felt Bronya's breath weaken in her arms, as if her soul could fade away at any time. Bronya! Bronya! Bronya, hold on! What should we do? Is Bronya going to die? Don't say that, Rosa! Is there anything we can do? Wait, silly, leave her to me. Isn't there something nearby that could save Bronya's life? Huh? That's the Abyss Flower. But other issues aside, we don't know how to use it at all. It's okay, silly. Trust me. Are you sure you can control it? Somehow I feel familiar with this weapon. Maybe my power resonates with it somehow. I think maybe I've known how to use it all along. I see. But allow me to do it with you. Is this really the time for that? No, I mean, I can feel that. Are you trying to show off? Huh? Even if you don't know how to use its power, you don't know how to properly wield it yet. And you don't know if your strength alone is enough to save Bronya. So please, let me help. Let's save Bronya together. Alright. Listen, I tried to draw out the unique power of this weapon. You need to follow me and feel that power, then lead it to Bronya. No problem. I try my best. Okay, I'm going to start. The girl closed her eyes and followed the guidance of the other voice in her heart. She felt Ponya's fragile in her arms and noticed a strange but familiar power nearby. She waved her power into a thread that connects the two. Please, it has to work.
あとは頼んだわよ。もう一人の私。
Did it work? Ponya. Ponya lost consciousness once again. But Celie sensed that it was just a drowsiness caused by excessive fatigue. I'm so glad. Ponya, you're alright. Thank you, Celie. The girl couldn't hear her own inner answer for a long time. Atami, are you alright? Atami? You're being annoying. I'm fine. Oh, you scared me. Somehow I'm also tired. This abyss flower consumes life force, right? Anyway, it's not quite as taxing as I had imagined. Still. By the way, you are worried, right? Of course, don't scare me like that again. Wait, she admitted it? What should I say now? Do you hear me, silly? Alright, I'm the obedient silly. I do whatever you... Wait, what is that? Hey, Moped, is this a joke? Tell me that's not the thing we saw in the second eruption. Judging from the energy readings and monitoring responses, it is indeed the grace field. No, to be more accurate, it's the power of binding being used in a way similar to the grace field. Kiana, get everyone out of there! If we get hit by that gear, it's all over. We don't know if it's a defensive measure triggered by breaking the light curtain or what, but it's rapidly spreading out with the imaginary seed at its core. Zelle, Rosa, Lily, can you move? Rosa couldn't barely support her body with her greatsword. I gave all my power to Ponya just now, and I don't have much strength left. Lily has fallen asleep, can barely carry her on my back, but Silly and Ponya... In Silly's arms, Ponya is breathing steadily, but she still showed no signs of regaining consciousness. It's okay, I can carry Ponya. What should I do? Everyone looks incapacitated, but the gears aren't slowing down at all. Is there any way to deflect them? Kiana tried to hold the greatsword in her hands, but the power is still out of control. Shoot, my power still hasn't recovered. Everyone was silent for a while. The twisted gears were rapidly expanding and drawing near. All of a sudden, a roar pierced the air. That's the soul chip of the Hyperion. Lisa, when did you go out? This is good. Now that you're already here, Teresa, let the combatants board the soul chip as soon as possible and retreat. No, Doctor. Retreating won't work. Teresa? Ponya and the others just gone through fight. Now they exhausted. Considering the seed his gears are expanding at, I'm afraid it's risky if we retreat from the air. Doctor, do you remember that experiment we did on binding? You mean? You guys have probably thought about it too. If I use the grace field to output the same binding power, Kiana and the others will be safe. Wait, Teresa. Theoretically it could work, but... Madam Teresa, you should know what the grace field means to you as a mantis. I know, I experienced it during the second eruption. Come on, didn't you see that imaginary seed to match that thing's strength? You die. Maybe. When the field is deployed, the shield engine powered by Honkai energy will also stop running. Even we can remotely control it from the Hyperion. I know. Looks like we can stop you. Thank you for your understanding, Doctor. The sword ship soared higher towards the Nelios seed. The radio signal grew weaker until it disappeared. It's so quiet around here, only a monotonous mechanical hum can be heard. 2000, Schicksal Headquarter. Thank you for your accompanying us to take Kiana's art photos, Teresa. She likes you very much. The last time I had a good chat with her was a peaceful afternoon. Sitting on the bench, they watched a father and a daughter playing together in the distance and chatted for a while. Cecilia, your application to the Far East School program you applied has been approved. Really? That's great. But be more diligent when you go through the process next time. This time you didn't indicate the priority of the program on the files. Luckily I happen to be a cautious person, otherwise who knows how long they have stayed in that stack of files. Thank you, Teresa. I feel that you care about this program a lot. Of course, it's your dream, isn't it? Kiana is growing up every day. If we don't hurry up, she will be too old for that school. Then help me realize another dream, okay? About last time's proposal. Do you want to be a teacher in my school, Teresa? Forget it, I can't be a teacher. Huh? Why not? I'm not good at dealing with kids. They won't see me as a teacher. Is that so? I think you'll be fine. Kiana likes you. I better stay at this headquarters. You find better teachers, and I have a hunch that your daughter will be a bit more trouble than the other kids. I can't handle her. Thanks for the compliment. It's not a compliment. But maybe she well behaved when she grows up, just like her dad. Siegfried is not well behaved at all. The two kept joking with each other. But Cecilia, why did you rush to build a Valkyrie school? Is it for Kiana? No. To be honest, I'd be glad if she didn't want to be a Valkyrie in the future. To be honest, I've thought about building a school for a long time now. A long time? After all, as you know, I've been training as a Valkyrie since a very young age. I knew almost nothing about the world other than fighting Honkai. Until I met Siegfried. You know what happened when we first met. At that time I finally realized we could experience so much more than just fighting. Those experiences became a new driving force for my Valkyrie career. That's the reason why I want to create a different branch. I want to give this student something I almost missed. A room with privacy, a beautiful garden, a delicious school cafeteria, lessons, activities, friends you can skip school together. I want them to experience the world freely as a person before becoming a Valkyrie. I see. Well, are you moved at all? The factuality can also enjoy what a man mentioned above. I'm not so simple-minded. Still, a campus full of youth sounds like your style. Oh yes, speaking of youth, the school has to have a big swimming pool. You could build it by the sea or an island. Everyone could spend summer hanging out. Yeah, they will play outside and have claw machines, an arcade and amusement park. I used to enjoy arcades. They wouldn't want to study anymore. Huh? You think so? Maybe think about only opening them on weekends. That's more reasonable. I just want them to have their own lives, a life that has nothing to do with career or responsibilities, a life where they can wholeheartedly make themselves happier. Even as Valkyries, I want them to see things for themselves, experience the world at their own pace. I hope that one day they will be able to decide their own destiny and choose what they want to protect. I hope they will have beautiful memories in mind when they cry out, "Fight for all that's beautiful in the world." I hope they truly understand what that means. And what we need to do is be witness to it and protect them all. Yes, you're right. Teresa, it's okay if you don't want to be a teacher. I'll bring that up again. But I hope that once in a while you come by to see Kiana and her classmates at school. I'm sure you'll be in for a surprise. Then I'll be looking forward to it. Speaking of which, for a unique school like this, it may not be appropriate to call it Far East School. Why not consider another name? Ah, you're right. What should we call it? Well, we need to think about that. How about Sanfreya? It stands for youth. It's just like you said, Cecilia. The students of Sanfreya have grown so much we can't even believe it. They can now decide their own destiny, choose what they want to protect, and they will never stop going forward, even if they are far apart from each other. Although students of Sanfreya do cause all sorts of trouble, but you're right, Cecilia. This is the future that is different from ours. This is the future we ought to protect. Teresa took a deep breath. Judah, my old friend, you have always been all powerful, so please, help me one last time.
制約の十字架大霊定格出力心音結界抵抗展開
It happened in an instant. The Vinky had the imaginary seat accurately. The chain reaction made all the gears covering the sky lose their power. They broke, dissipated, and collapsed. The power of binding had no effect. Otto's church was no longer guarded by any barriers. Otto Apocalypse had achieved the expected victory and paid the expected price. What happened? Did it work? The imaginary seat was broken and the gears in the sky were fading away. The power of biting was gone. Wonderful. Her vision began to blur and the sound of wind in her eyes gradually faded away. She wanted to speak, but her lips, no, her entire body was numb. Am I falling? She could no longer feel the wind, the gears that grew further and further, and the strands of hair brushing in her vision reminded herself of the fact. Kiana, Bornya. I'm glad that you're alright. What is that? A holy white light shot down from the sky. It didn't feel threatening, but rather reassuring. In Teresa's memory, she had only seen such a holy light in one person. Cecilia. After saying that name in her head, Teresa lost all her strength. She closed her eyes and let herself fall into unconsciousness. And fall. Oh, so we need to get out the stage to continue the main mission. Then, let's see. Oh, since the barrier broke. Okay. Binding has fallen. Okay. Yeah. What are we supposed to do? Yeah, okay, I got all this. What is the next plan now? Since we're only at 20. Okay. Only at 22%. 26%. So this will definitely be 3 parts. I can already tell this much. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, just lose. 17 years and 8 months. Compared to the 500,000 years, this was just a short moment. As I have been forced to work again, let's do things by routine. Tell each visitor what kind of power they have inherited. Then inscribe in their souls the promise that once belonged to him. What's going on? Why isn't the revelation of stigmata forming normally? That person isn't a part of them, are they? No, that's impossible. Imaginary space. The origin of the universe where the laws converged. The meaning of time here cannot be understood based on common sense, and the operation of things here cannot be calculated by the study of mechanics. For mere mortals without special precautions, it's almost impossible to survive here. But this girl was an exception. Not long ago, she went deep into the hinterlands of the imaginary space and escaped successfully with the support of her friends. Sumaru faithfully kept record of the previous experience. The girl found that returning from the imaginary space back to reality is not at all that difficult. She was not wrong about her own strength, but at that point she had encountered some unexpected problems. What's that sound in my head? Everything is muffled. Strange, is that noise some kind of entanglement phenomenon in the imaginary space? Unknown noises rippled through the world. The ripples overlaid each other to reveal the real spatial structure and drew the girl in. Yeah, that doesn't seem normal. Before I have passed through absolute nothingness, I clearly haven't returned to the inner parts of Sumo. Genius signal is very unstable and cannot be used for communication and precise positioning. Is it because of the noise just now? Or... Anyway, let's sort things out. In the previous battle with the Overseer, I defeated him momentarily, but he also found an opportunity to exile me to the imaginary space. And this place seems to be part of the imaginary space. That space ability the Overseer used, did it come from the cosmic juggernaut? Did he choose a place to exile me to at random or possibly chose this place? No, it's not the time to think about these questions. Whatever his methods and goals, I should go back to the outside world as soon as possible. I can't solve anything just by standing here and thinking. At least Genius can point me in some direction. Let's head the way and see what clues we can find. Yeah. The harness power isn't stable here. Be careful out there. Space definitely doesn't look very normal. But the question is, what in the imaginary space is really normal? Illuminating pattern to the bottle notes? Is this some sort of illusion? Donda uncorked the bottle and took out the note. It was incomplete, seemingly torn from a notebook. This is indeed a unique dimension of the imaginary space. Never-ending history seems to take on some weird forms in your subconsciousness. Anyway, since I've been stuck here for a long time, I have to write something to maintain my sanity. I noticed something strange that wasn't supposed to be here. Maybe that's how some that have lost their essence look like to me. Perhaps what I'm doing now is just a hopeless gamble, but one has to try. These are some vague clues, but the person who left the note seemed to encounter something that was difficult to resolve. At least it's something. Let's keep looking in that direction Genius pointed in. Yeah. We need probably to pay a price. Of course, the point turned into battle notes. Dundal picked up the second bottled notes and took out the note. After using that device to tear through memories, several pieces of history, I was one step closer to being free again. But it was at that last step that I failed. Everything went back to the beginning. Like before, I can't harness that power at all, let alone use it to pass the trial. If you found this note, I wish you luck. Don't wear yourself out like I did with repeated challenges. The last step, trial, worn out. This space seems a lot more dangerous than it appears. That being said, there's no point in stopping. Let's keep going in the direction Genius pointed to. So you probably need to be a chosen one in this way. From the way it sounds. Not yet. Shouldn't be too difficult to defeat these enemies. Defeat. And another note. Dunda opened the third bottled note that was transformed from light. For me, this is the 28th challenge. The judge of the trial won't admit it at all. Does it have no understanding of this, or am I worn out to the point where others have trouble recognizing me? Did I have a name before? Forget it, I'm trapped here, I have nothing to lose. So this is what it means to be worn out. Is it because he had been trapped for too long, or... No, I can't make an effective judgment based on these notes. Let's continue to look for a breakthrough in the direction that genius pointed to. Or did he lost his memory because he failed? Over and over again. It seems like we need to protect this thing. Oh, come. Click on. Need them to trigger me. Otherwise I have a lot of damage. Yeah. No, it's protected. What is this flower-like thing? Genius indicator vibrated the stone that approached it. Is this the device mentioned in the bottled note? Doesn't look like it at all. According to the person, I should use it to gradually approach the final adjudicator. Is there any clue here? Don't I found a broken photo in the sand underfoot? It's a photo taken at Homeworld or something similar. Can't find anything that can be used as a clue on it. Let's put it away for now. Looks like there's no other clues around here. When you're ready, find a way to activate the device. It looked like a young Kiana. The little girl that was only half people. Maybe Cecilia was here? It could explain something. That this somehow is inside Abyss Flower. Activate the device. Unlike the space-time projector in Constant, the device here did not change the surrounding environment but projected people into other spaces. It's dreamlike. That's the actual past, the shadow left in time by history. I'm hungry. It's so bright outside. Why didn't anyone wake me up? Right, this is a nursing home. Why did I think that someone would wake me up? Last month, I picked my name and birthday here. They said my head had been so badly injured that I had to go through an operation. But the cost was losing any memory before coming here forever. Forget it. There's no point in dwelling on what's been lost. Although I had a lazy morning, it's important to do some exercise every day. Jog 5 laps around the nursing home, then do 50 push-ups and 30 pull-ups. So memories. Such sanctuary, I sure do miss it. And there's a home, but a real sanatorium would never have this. Do check it out. You'll probably unlock some of the lost memories that should be lost forever. Hi. Hi. Hey. Don't I kick the giant doll's rear end? Oh, that hurts. Where are you? I have a poor memory, but I have never seen you around here before. This is the first time we've met. Don't I briefly introduce yourself? So who are you? Me? I guess I'm a consciousness that forgot its own name and face. What do I look to you? Like a giant doll. Doll? Let me guess. Am I Homo? No, perhaps Hola? No way, I'm the Homo Emperor, right? Couldn't you just look yourself? Of course, I can't see myself. Can't see yourself? You mean... Yeah, I have completely forgotten my appearance and my name. In this space, to forget means to have lost. When I look at my body, all I see is something like a translucent figure. Hey, don't make that face. Once you get used to it, it's not so bad. Well, I got some good sleep. The huge door tried its best to stretch. Tell me, why did you wake me up? I need to go through here. Go through? But this hall leads to nowhere. What do you mean? I mean, I have now found a way that leads anywhere else. No, I've forgotten my appearance and name, so maybe I used to know how to get in and out of this place. I just don't remember. Sorry, love, I can't help you. This photo and these notes, are they yours? Don't I handed the huge doll the photos and notes she found in the desert. The doll looked at the damaged photo. A giant yellow doll stood out in the middle. Do I look like this in your eyes? No, to be frank, you look much more worn out than the one in the photo. After all, everything has faded to white. Well then... Huh? The huge doll froze when it saw the handwriting on the note. It's true, this is my handwriting. But I'm sorry, I really have no memory of the experiences recorded. I understand. It's a bit weird to say, but I've lost some memories too. I know how it feels. Others' comments about you, record of you and you that others imagine. In the end, you will feel that these are nothing but illusions. Unless... No, I can't jump to conclusions about things I've never experienced. Anyway, since you don't know the way out, let's investigate this place carefully together. After all, you seem to have broken through similar spaces more than once in the past. You're right. I left those notes, so that must mean I've been to the deepest parts of this place by myself many times. Nice, I feel confident all of a sudden. Come on, let's find the clues, our memories, and the way to read them. Yeah, sure. This mood changes pretty fast. Anyway, let's try to find that weird looking device around here first. Yeah, that. Yes. Hey, Kevin is still alive. He'll be back soon, and then you'll be reunited. He's still alive. That's wonderful. He's humanity's only hope now. As long as he lives, our civilization will not disappear. It's a pity that I can't see him again. Nay? Your condition. It seems that my body has reached its limit. I can't even see you clearly now. Just now I could barely maintain my consciousness. Now my mind is clearer, but I'm afraid it's just a flashback. Thank you, Sue. It's thanks to your medicine that I can last until now. I can put together my final plan. There are 2 letters on the table. One is for Kevin, the other is for you. You know what Kevin is carrying. You can read his letter to learn about the plans in this child of ours. A strange warm current suddenly appeared in the depths of her memory, but disappeared quickly. However, Sue, you must never let him see my letter for you. Why me? You know when you read it. I'm sorry it has to be like this. Sorry, Kevin. I told you that I had recovered and we'd be together when you came back from the moon. Did you know I was lying, but still chose to believe? Is this the memory of those pioneers 550,000 years ago? The previous era, but the consciousness of these two is unlikely to have anything to do with Homo or him, who's behind everything. You will come across your own memories and the memories of others just like this, right? Huh? It would seem so. I don't think I'm the owner of that memory. It's just, when that memory floods my mind, it feels so familiar. Yeah. Perhaps I once had a similar experience back when memory was still complete. Do you remember anything? No, not exactly. Anyway, we have a good start, right? At least my instincts tell me that we're on the right track. Okay, let's find the next memory. The huge doll moved its clumsy body and squatted on the ground to start searching, as if it were looking for glass marbles for kids. It's hard to say if this is a good way to find memories or not, but he seems to be working at it really hard. For now, I trust his instincts. Yeah, that definitely was Dr. May from the previous era, and Sue. I remember, I think he was one of the flame. He should be one of the flame chasers. And maybe the stall even is here. Just he lost his memories. That's where the memories are. I never get tired of her sleeping face. Still, it's time to wake up, Carlan. Hey. Stop tickling me, Dad. Oh, have you forgotten? This is how I used to wake you up when you were 2 or 3 years old. Then you made me cry. Mom was so angry that she pulled you aside. Do you think no one ever told me that? Is that so? I can't remember. Hey, forget about it. I'm finally free today. How about you go and do some morning exercise together? Will you teach me the real Kaslana gun kata? Huh? Do you mean that what you learned at school is fake? Well, what I learned at school is nothing compared to your 48 form, Dad. That's not true, Carlin. The basics are the foundation of everything. The so-called 16 form, 24 form, and 48 form are just their extensions. If you don't believe me, how about we try it out? I only use the first 3 moves of Kaslana Gankata, and you can use any move you want. If I lose, I teach you all about Kaslana Gankata, okay? You promise? No take back disease? Sure. A new name has appeared in this memory. Yeah, that little girl's name is Carlin, and she practiced the Kaslana Gankata with her father. Do you know anything about these 2 names? Not really. I can't remember where I heard them, but they give me a strange feeling. Strange feeling? How do I put it? And I repeat Kaslana Kankata in my heart. Feel like my blood is surging. I see. The girl suddenly took a step back and drew a circle around herself with her toe. Then she performed a dazzling set of fighting moves within the small space. This is the 16th form Kaslana Kankata they mentioned in that memory. Do they remind you of anything? I just felt my blood surging again. Wait, what is that? An enemy blocking the path? What more proof do you need? You're on the right. Anyway, leave this to me. Yeah. So... it's strange. Since the first memory is 50,000 years old, and the second memory now is 500 years old. Or a bit older, but definitely at the time for definitely Karl and Gaslana, the one Otto wants to bring back from the dead. Even though it was a bit troublesome, I guess it got resolved smoothly. According to my experience, a device like this should be able to take us to the next space. Sorry, you've been trying hard, and I can't recall anything valuable. It's okay, you don't have to feel stressed. The path we are taking now might be one you've taken before. If you follow it, even if you can't get your memories back, I'm sure it will help you become complete again. You're really something else. Me? Yes, I feel like you're really good at motivating yourself and others while still keeping level-headed. I just quoted what others have told me. That person said, no matter what it is, the self, the human world or the universe, their meaning cannot be measured by results. All life in the world starts from nothing and to nothing. But the road under our feet will determine the meaning of our lives. Wherefore it is a pity that we forget where we came from. As long as we know where we're going, the past will keep supporting us. You mean to focus on our steps? That's a good goal. It's not out of reach, but it's also not easy. After all, there are many people who could have gone further but ended up in where I am at now. What are you talking about? Life is about moving forward, right? Forgetting who you were doesn't mean you will lose your future. Come on, cheer up. We need to move on. As the girl's consciousness sank into the depths of her memory once again, an observer in the void also began to contemplating a countermeasure. Well, it looks like I need to be more patient. Unlike them, the stigmas in your body are cleverly concealed. And they were led toward different directions by different people in different ways. Huh? You're quite a favorite child, don't I? Your overseer forced you here. Perhaps he wants to use you to let the space that has long pervaded this era regress and collapse and open the final path for his own career. But the tragic desire contained in the stigma is absolute. Whoever bears it will meet their own destiny, wherever they want to or not. Unless... The roar of the engine gradually stopped. In the girl's memory, the unique cold air in the sky was stimulating the sensitive nerves of her nose. This is the floating isles, Shiksa's central headquarters. Let's do this. Bakery admission test. I'm ready. Hey, watch your back. Oh, sorry. Do you need any help? Help? Yeah, sure. I need to report to A51. Do you know the way? You're here to take the Valkyrie admission test, right? Turn right ahead and go straight down the corridor. You will find A51 on your left. Thanks. You're welcome. Wait. What, is something wrong? Left is this way, right's that way. You're going the wrong way. I know my left from my right. I just looking around. If you don't mind, I walk you to A51. I just remembered that I have something to do in A52. It's right besides A51. Well, in that case, I can't say no. Alright, let's go. Speaking of which, you look pretty relaxed. 2 years ago, when I took the regular admission test, I was so nervous that I couldn't speak. But it's just a test, right? I guess I was too afraid of letting my family down. They left their own children in England to accompany me here. Well, I guess this is a blessing in disguise, huh? After all, I've been alone for as long as I can remember. Sorry, I didn't realize. It's alright. I can take care of myself in this world. Why should I envy others? Besides... hey, 51? It's right here. Yeah, it's not far. Well, good luck on your test, future Valkyrie. I don't know about all that, but thank you. I really enjoyed talking with you. Bye. This is how I met her. Although we didn't know each other at that time, this strange destiny later connected us through the mission of the Sea of Quanta. After that, we became S-Wing Valkyries together and formed the Immortal Blades. In retrospect, we have come so far. Then she became good friends with you, right? Yes, that was the beginning of my Valkyrie career. Although it was a bit messy at first, in hindsight it's worth remembering. Wait, why did your voice change? That's because we're not him, silly. Unlike us, he is a ghostly image left by someone's consciousness. In his captivity, he always missed his family, and we are the result of his feeling. He's so worn out, he doesn't even know that he doesn't exist in space the same way you do. But he sent us here consciously. Maybe he hopes that we could take his place and accompany you on this journey. So, to put it simply, you and he all came from someone's memory? Yes, this place is the gap where the imaginary space became entangled and the shadow left by his countless challenges and failures. Of course, because of your appearance, it is influenced by you as well. For example, that nursing home. You mean there's a connection between us already? Correct. The delusion you just left was originally his remaining memory, the restoration of his home. Due to your intuition, it was modified by your consciousness to become a nursing home. The imaginary space, the creation of consciousness, will change with memory? Are you saying that the place I'm in now is actually someone's stigma space? Yes and no. It likely belongs to a cursed family, the imprint of the bloodline at its origin. We are also mere ghostly images, so what we know is not comprehensive. So we suggest you keep looking for those lost memory fragments. The more you find, the more we can remember. The search for memory may have just begun, but we will try to help you return to your own world according to his wish. Thank you. I hope we can be free in the end. Just. In the girl's heart, she had always felt sympathy for these unknown heroes with unfortunate fates. In fact, the reason why she became a Valkyrie was to fulfill the mission that Ragnar failed to complete. At the age of 12, she once opened her heart to Rita under the dreamy starry sky of the Bubble universe. Well, it's like some obsessive compulsive disorder. If I fail to do the best I can, I'll be unhappy. I hate explaining this. I know that my personality is more or less problematic, and I can imagine that I will probably become a boring person because of this in 5 or 10 years. But it's the only way I know to make myself stronger. I need to get stronger and even stronger still. Most of my relatives, teachers and fellow Vikings are gone already. Their lives came to an abrupt end, like a piece of paper. They were shredded by some superior evil will. I hate that. So whatever they fail to do, I want to try my hardest to make it happen. In her life so far, the girl had been fulfilling this requirement for herself in her own way. She knew her weakness: short-tempered, reckless, simple-minded and forgetful. So she constantly honed herself to become calmer, more practical, more rational, until others began to see her as aloof. Still, from time to time, she felt that she was still far from being the strongest Valkyrie. No, it's pointless to dream of saving someone else without an achievable dream. Then let's spin into action. We should hurry up and continue to look in the direction that genius pointed to for breakthrough. The fiery red doll fell silent as Fruit thought through what she had experienced. The pink doll on the side saw this and rushed in to save the situation. You're right, but the space here is huge. If you fail to touch the memory fragments in time, your own spirit is at risk of getting lost. Please be careful. They're right, don't get lost. Okay, I need to continue for now. Okay, let's see how long this video will get. Memory seems unreadable, but well, at least the fog nearby had mostly cleared up. Okay, that explains. So I need to plan my routes. The school bell that would be in use tomorrow rang in the night. Well, the bell works fine. Tomorrow is the enrollment day. We only have 10 students, but starting from scratch is never easy. Cecilia. St. Freya will be a new start. The owner of the memory examined a photo in her hand. Alas, it's been almost 10 years. And in the end, I failed to take care of Kiana. Now Siegfried is in exile and can't be reached. Kiana is seriously injured, has been staying in a fully enclosed medical tank for over a year. Grandpa didn't allow me to visit her, even once. Cecilia, we used to imagine things together, but it seems that only this school became a reality. Hopefully, when Kiana recovers, she can be a student here too. Before that, I must work together with the teachers and students here and try to be a competent principal. It's Teresa's memory this time. Teresa has been working hard in her own way. Huh? You can remember her, right? To be precise, when you touch the memory, your understanding of her was passed to us automatically. As I said, we are freer beings compared to you. We can even learn things that you don't know through the memories you touched. So, do you know the source of the space and how it works? No, I guess that requires more intense memory stimulation. For example, the last moments of someone's important. Hey, to remember more you don't have to use sad memories, right? But the stimulation is necessary. Nonsense. I want to see something nice and happy. Nice and happy. Well, is this what they call only allies can defeat them? The cruel. Hey, are you humiliating me with these words I don't understand? Huh? That's a compliment. Don't tell me you've never read that fairy tale. The two childlike dolls got into an argument. Somehow it might make sense, make someone think that they were good friends. Kids. Well, a few years ago I was like the red one. I was always arguing with others. But now you are quite capable and mature. In the past few years while growing up you must have experienced a lot, right? For kids who hold themselves to a high standard and stick to their own values, they will experience drastic personality change as they grow up. It's okay, I just keep moving forward, and before I knew it, I've become what I am now. They call it the price of growth, right? Maybe. After all, life always makes us pay. So are you going to keep going? Yeah, let's call those two squad building guys. I'm ready to go. But your kids always make you feel sorry for them. Yeah. I somehow have a feeling that the memories aren't quite unknown. There definitely is someone else behind this whole place. Because the memories are too precise for what is shown. And we wanted a sad memory like the last moments before the death of someone, but wouldn't be something like a birth also like that also be good enough. So extreme happy moments. Which it. This one is unreadable. I try to get to it without touching this one. You're back. That's good. A meeting like this can help clear up the air between us. Ah, sorry. Did I leave you speechless? My fault. Well, as a gesture of goodwill, let's get straight to the point, okay? First, I'm sorry for what happened to Cecilia, but we all know Shiksa had no choice in that situation. I'm not here to talk about that today. I know. Still, I want to apologize. Okay, let's get to the point now. I have to admit, I wanted to kill you. Oops, you look surprised. Is that because of my murderous intent or my frankness? Anyway, none of that matters. Your daughter Kiana will be Shiksa's most powerful Valkyrie in the future, and I don't want her to lose her parents as a child. Besides, I noticed that you have controlled the power in you pretty well recently. Shall I say that you have amazing willpower? Or is it that because you live with your daughter now? My power is the reason that you wanted to kill me. Ah, you can say that. After all, I don't want you to murder your own daughter by accident. You know, that wouldn't be just a family tragedy, but also the loss of Schicksal and all humanity. The angry man hit the table. It's none of your business. Oops, sorry, I just saying. Sorry, I didn't consider your feelings. You. Calm down, Siegfried Kaslana, my dear. Kiana is your daughter and an even greater asset to Schicksal organization. We are all in this together. As long as she grows up healthy, we can cooperate and trust each other, right? That was the overseer and Kiana's father. Was it sometime after the second eruption? Ah, I hate that blonde man. How can there be such an arrogant guy like him in the world? Guys like him are perhaps not rare, but I agree with you. In any case, Overseer Otto is a very cruel man. The Overseer, indeed, he is the one who threw me into the imaginary space. Now I'm stuck here. I'm prepared to fight him until he can no longer destroy the world. But he doesn't do insignificant things. He must have felt compelled to attempt to anchor me in others again and again today, even going so far as to do it himself. Hey, you said it yourself, he just hurt you, and you're defending him? I'm only pointing out the obvious. He bravely advocates for the world's annihilation, resorts to violence to avoid being questioned, and refuses to read his secrets even while at war with his own Valkyrie. I am furious and perplexed, but more importantly, I must prevent him from causing irrevocable destruction to the world. That's the type of man he is, and he has previously supported me in my training. Hey, but you know in your heart that you always have another conflict with him. There's no point in caring too much about these minor favors from the past, right? The pink doll pinched the red doll from the side. That being said, you should not be too harsh on our visitor. It is normal for humans to experience conflicted emotions in this world. Hopefully, after seeing more of that person's memories, she'll be able to maintain her composure. Let's get going. I can hardly wait. Let's get going. Whatever memories await us, we have to confront them all at some point. I do have a feeling that this homo beings try to work against Otto or this whole space, since from what it seems like from the current perspective, it looks like only bad memories. First memory didn't really fit in. The second was something that had to do with Otto. The third one, the one for the one with Teresa was also something that had to do with Otto, since he killed Cecilia. And the next one again was directly with Otto. Bailey's lovely beaches are being cast by gentle waves. As the sun sets, tired guests exchange questions such as where to eat for supper in many languages. What a long, exhausting day. So much harder than combat training. I'm utterly exhausted. Excellent photographer. You've done a terrific job. No way, I'm doing my part to help my darling wife. There was no effort required. Yeah, you were obviously just whining about your stamina being entirely depleted. So you heard it. How about I take pictures of you tomorrow? I'm not practically photogenic. Gee, this gentleman seems to be completely unaware of his own charms. You think I have bad taste in men? Well, so just have some confidence in yourself. If our child grows up, he will only remember his mother as a beautiful young lady, but not his father as a handsome guy. That will be a shame. But even if you want to photograph me, I didn't pack anything suitable other than the right suit for the wedding. Of course I would prepare something like that ahead of time. Why do you think I ditched you the day before we left to go shopping with Teresa and Kira? Come on, I'm seriously considering competing in photography with you. This is Cecilia and Siegfried's honeymoon period, I think. Those prior memories, it appears, all belong to different people, but now 2 consecutive memories related to Siegfried have been discovered. That person also stated that forgetting in such a memory space is akin to chaos, but what if the opposite happens? Alas, happy memories, no? But your overseer Otto has ruined everything. He's done wrong to everyone in this family. I've always known that. Then you do realize that you're going to go back and beat him up again no matter what now, do you? Don't you? Yes, I do. Only I've also been warned not to think solely in terms of outcomes. It would lead to a loss of perspective on much of life's significance. Well, that overseer does not appear to be insignificant to you. Why really live such a painful life? Presumably no one wants to live with too many contradictions, right? But the universe itself, it's a world full of contradictions. We sometimes select one side of the contradiction and sometimes the exact opposite. These choices shape our lives while also introducing fresh contradictions. This unbreakable cycle propels the world onward. Okay, so you're not just a regular you can fight, but you can also juggle the words of a philosopher. These words were indeed delivered by a philosopher, and if you have the chance, you might be able to see her in my memory as well. I think what you just said is deeply ingrained in your principles and as a person and has become entirely internalized as your own. But I'm your age, right? And you said that you live in such a different way compared to a regular teenage girl? Is it necessary for a teen girl to act like a teen girl? Huh? I am who I am. I can't transform myself into someone else. For me, I knew who I wanted to be from the minute I became a Valkyrie. We are meant to be the most powerful guardians in the world, and we must constantly prepared. The determination to battle, to give everything, to bear the unfulfillment destiny of others on one's shoulders. To be able to keep this consciousness and devote myself to it forever. I don't mind if I don't resemble a teenage girl. Don't realized she was displaying emotions in a rare moment. Perhaps it was the red figure on the other side that reminded her of the person she once was. Perhaps after experiencing a succession of memories, those regards contributed to her distress. If scholars have an obsession, they call it devotion on oneself to historical study. Warriors also can become fixated, holding out hope to keep up the fight. This is the glory of their endurance, this is the meaning of their existence, this is the mission for which they have sacrificed their youth. Sorry, I appear to have gone a little carried away. It's not that I don't know what you're talking about. You have your own problems, which you find difficult to share with others. I just think you should put your sanity aside and vent every now and then. That would be difficult for Rita, wouldn't it? Huh? I think your friend would be happy to see that happen too, right? Maybe. Okay, now that time for spilling the beans has passed, let's get to work. Isn't it true that there's a long way to go? Yeah. This place definitely wants to teach Donda something. These memories are too specific, and how the Omus act, like as if they want to tell or teach Donda something, that she lost herself. Yeah. It's the only effect that he heals damage. As well as the weapon attack. Oh well, the weapon attack is not really often available. Yeah, it's nice that it's at boost mode. Just want to defeat it. Where to go next? Oh, yeah. An empty button. The hour exists by itself. A giant submarine is cruising through the ocean currents, swimming in a network of waves of the bubble universe. Yo, are you chilling out here? Hey, don't approach the people from behind, Captain. You appear a little dreary. Are you starting to feel homesick? Not at all. I'm simply pondering something about the future. Is this about anything that will happen when you return to your own world? That sort of thing. Maybe it's not something a typical 12-year-old would consider, but I can't turn a blind eye to what's already in my thoughts. Well, after all, we've had a number of difficult to describe circumstances over the previous 2 days. But hey, there's no shame in being a little precautious, is there? Then I just ask the question straightforwardly. In your opinion, Captain, why are humans born into this world? That's a rather straightforward question. How should I put it? Even if we can fill our birth certificate by hand, we can't pick our actual birth date, can we? Or would you want to discuss the question, why does life have to be meaningful? That's one way to put it. Consider this: everyone is born into this world against their will, and for the most part dies against their will. And you stated a while ago that the meaning of oneself, human beings, the world, and the universe cannot be assessed in terms of result. For ourselves, everything eventually fades into oblivion, and we have no power to protect those we love eternally in a long stream of time. Perhaps the answer to this question rests in believing, yet I have a hard time to believing in some metaphysical abstract idea. What can I say? You're the sort of person that overthinks everything. You should be aware that you already believe in ideas such as truth, goodness, and beauty more than most ordinary people, at least in terms of what counts. I believe the actual problem for you perhaps is that the truth, goodness, and beauty are all a collection of concepts that are simple but ill-defined. Of course, truth, goodness, and beauty can be summarized as the greatest common divisor for society, but for individuals it's ultimately not anchored in reality. Everyone, after all, has their own quirks, flaws, and like the Greek gods, they are flawed beings. However, only in this way will human possibilities increase and human civilization remain irrelevant. We can only protect something for so long, but that is not the end of meaning, but rather the beginning of where it should be. not the end, but the beginning? Yeah, meaning as a whole of mankind and meaning as a individual are essentially two opposite things. You can think of it as a mosaic or large in relation to the single mosaic piece itself. Every life that believes it is beautiful is a type of footnote in the history of civilization. Behind every self-fulfillment is someone who casts a shadow in history. But that just defines what civilization is, not what it is to be living. That's true. No matter what, the so-called life will never have any inherent meaning. You didn't simply state life has no meaning. Well, because finding meaning itself is a meaning that we can't give to life. Understand? We do not live as a certain type of person, whether we live to become that type of person. The ability to create meaning to the meaningless is what distinguishes humans. So you're trying to suggest that our lives are never-ending quest for a better version of ourselves? Yes, exactly. Some liken it to Sisyphus pushing a boulder because it never stops. In their myth, Sisyphus labored to push the boulder up the mountain, then watched helplessly as it slid back down, and so on and so forth. But even they would confess that while Sisyphus was trapped in a never-ending cycle of misery, his existence seemed meaningless. But that didn't stop Sisyphus from forging a life purpose that opposite posed the gods and lords for them. When you forsake sensualism, you see that Sisyphus did live his life to the fullest, achieving the most fundamental sort of human happiness. You mean the happiness that comes from recognizing you're not living for nothing, or at the very least acknowledging you're struggling with meaninglessness? Without a doubt, it's the best type of struggle in everyone's journey through life. We battle the world while reconciling with it, eventually acquiring meaning, and finally to be able to walk off the stage with a great smile and no regrets in the face of the eternal nothingness. Alright, I have to admit, at first she had me pretty confused, but then clear things up to see something entirely new. She does have her own caliber, but it appears to me that it's just a giant circle and back to square one. In a sense it does. However, the same scenery can produce a quite different mood. Hey, no more talking about Sisyphus. And there is in fact one individual in the world whose fate is much more tragic than Sisyphus. You know his name too. Hey, you can't do that. We shouldn't tell her things that she doesn't know about yet. So you do know certain facts that I don't yet know. No, how should I put it? There are things that even if you are unaware of them, your body and soul can assist us in knowing. Do you guys know about my past? No, it's not quite that straightforward. However, spending time with you gradually reminds us of something that you have no way of knowing yourself. Yes, you have an enormous inherent resonance with the hymn that makes us who we are. I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about. That's okay. Our adventure on this level appears to be coming to a conclusion now that your own flowers have appeared. And assuming our predictions are come to the next level, you will confront all of his most crucial memories. If you make it all the way to the end, that adjudicator should be waiting for you. It wasn't on purpose, but he did pave the way for you. Consider it as a compensation for unwitting and pending your return to reality. His memories or experiences could prove useful while dealing with the adjudicator. Yeah. Which means I'm going to have to confront his life piece by piece before finding my way back to reality at the adjudicator, right? Yes, that's right. We are nothing more than resonance vessels of consciousness that emerge and disappear as you pass by. You don't have to say goodbye to us, because we are both him and you. Do your best, the strongest value of Schicksal. I am certain that you will be able to get past his regrets and continue forward. Feel it with your heart, then assume his place and beat up these arrogant bastards in one sweep. Unlike the earlier huge doll, the bodies of the small dolls had begun to dissolve by the time the device appeared. Dunda felt everything in silence. She might have received a premonition. How will she witness what Sisyphus bears on his back in the event that follows? Already half an hour this stage. But yeah. If you enjoyed this video, I would be happy about a like, a sub and a comment. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next episode. This outro will be for both parts, and the intro that I recorded will also be the intro for both parts. So, or was the intro for both parts. So yeah, I hope you can forgive this. I don't know how I would otherwise record an intro so that it seems good. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I would be happy about a like, a sub and a comment. Yeah, and I see you in the next episode, or in the next time when we are going to continue after Dundal. So yeah, see you then.